Shut up. Time doesn't matter. Only art matters.
Hello, good morning.
Oh, good morning, babies. It's too early.
It sure is.
Welcome to the first, best, and only morning show in existence. I'm Anthony Carboni.
And I'm Saige Ryan.
And I just need to give Dagger more explicit permission to sit on the couch. Hold.
Right now? Right this exact second in the intro? You couldn't give us the first 30 seconds of the show. Look, the dog is important. I understand.
We have to care for our elderly. They're our connection to the past.
Dagger is our connection to the past. For those who are by any chance not familiar, Anthony has an ancient Pomeranian. And
a baby, really.
he is just a baby, but also the oldest man there's ever been simultaneously.
He and I both suffer from Benjamin Button disease.
Yeah. Yeah. Look like babies. Oldest there's ever been.
Yeah. And he's gotten particularly old over the last year, and he is...
Haven't we all?
Yeah. And right now, like, even now that I've given him permission to be on the couch, he's walking around in circles on the couch like, what do I do now?
Yeah.
I wanted it up here, but I was going to do something.
Yeah.
What was I going to do?
Me going into the kitchen.
Yeah.
Onto social media.
Where were my keys?
Yeah.
It's like, well, you're not going to find your keys here. This is Twitter.
Yeah. Yeah, but now that I'm here.
Yeah, but now that I'm here.
Let
me get angry about something.
We had a viewer request this morning. And Alex, would you pull that up for us, our going live post? We had a viewer request this morning. And I want to give a shout out because we had fun recreating it. There has been the absolute silliest, and I do mean it, silliest photo going around from a Trump rally of Elon Musk experiencing maybe an attempt at joy for the first time in his life ever. And
it rings false.
Yeah. That's why I said an attempt.
Yeah,
he's really
false.
trying to create what he imagines joy is like.
Mm-hmm.
And so this was their image, and then this is ours. And corporate would like you to tell the difference between these two photos. I'd like somebody to take note of the fact that I am standing at a garbage can.
Yeah. It's a metaphor.
That's it. Yeah. A shout out to Flatlander for that suggestion on our going live photo today. We've done so many going live photos.
Yeah.
For our show anniversary last year, I made a compilation of them and I had like a bajillion.
Yeah.
It took multiple pages of grids of them.
Yeah, she put it all into she actually unboxed an old iMac from 2008, and she made an iMovie slideshow to a Lionel Richie song.
Yeah.
It was just, say you, say me.
I couldn't name a single Lionel Richie song. I wanted to join you on it, but I didn't know any.
I don't know if that's a Lionel Richie song, but the secret is I said it like I was confident.
I believed you, and I don't know if anyone knows the song well enough or Lionel Richie well enough to disagree with you. If it's wrong,
not me.
You don't have to tell us. Good morning, Alex.
Hello and good morning. It's me.
Hi, good morning. Thank you for your excellent photography skills on that photo.
Oh, thank you. There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes here, and it's too early, and I'm responsible for maybe 5%. So
perfect. It was perfect. We've got a lot of show to get to. Most importantly, we have to talk about the Joker.
The Jonkler has been let loose.
Joker 2. Joker fully
Too Jonkler, Too Furious is out now in theaters. Did you notice? Not a lot of people did.
Here's the thing. I think a lot of people are taking note. I think a lot of people are making very informed decisions on whether or not they're seeing the Joker this weekend. And we're going to give you a roundup of what people's thoughts are on it. And here's my question for you all. Some of you may know, we kind of have a thing we do. We do very long reviews of the worst movies on our Patreon.
Oh,
do you want a Joker Folie Ado review on the Patreon? Every one of these reviews has been almost as long as the movie, if not longer.
Don't make me.
Please let us know.
I don't want to see
if you do. Patreon.com/Pixel Circus. Subscribe over there if you're not already. You can get a free trial, $5 a month. We did a 3-hour long Justice League review at one point. We put
almost as long as the runtime of the Justice League.
Yeah, we put a solid hour and a half into Madam Web.
Yeah.
Yeah, all of those are up there. You can get caught up on our previous ones and let us know.
Also, today we are going to be talking about a brand new game that Saber's working on that Saige is very excited about. We're going to talk about X, Twitter, and just the most ridiculous strat I've ever seen from Twitter, and that's saying a lot.
Wow, that is saying a lot.
And of course, we're going to talk about everything you know about Halo has changed.
CGI babies.
Everything you know about Halo is different now because John Spartan is a CGI baby.
But stick around for that. If you're watching on YouTube, I'm remembering to do this in the intro. If you're watching on YouTube
proud.
later, hey, like the video. We appreciate you being here. And I think we gotta start with the Joker.
We do have to start with the Joker.
We gotta open with it.
Though I will say, before we speak about the Jonkler, I did see the One True movie again this weekend.
I haven't seen it.
You were invited. You were invited to movie club.
He asked me to see it an hour away from my home, where there's no parking unless you pay $100 million.
30 minutes and they validate. You are being ridiculous. It's Megalopolis.
30 minutes for a movie is ridiculous.
It's Megalopolis, baby. The one true film, baby. Listen, everybody, here's what I need you to do. I need you to go to the theater and I need you to buy a ticket. And that ticket should be for Megalopolis. You're going to buy a ticket for a whole seat, but you're only going to use the edge. Megalopolis is the film of what? The year? The century? Shut up. Time doesn't matter. Only art matters. Megalopolis. You know the full title is Francis Ford Coppola's Megalopolis, A Fable.
Really?
Yeah. It's on the title screen. Yeah.
It's
a fantastic film. It's a fantastic film. If you have seen the clip going around, the one that's gone viral is the In the Club clip. Have you seen this?
No, I have seen nothing from this movie. I've not seen a single thing other than your posts about this movie, Anthony.
I am the Megalopolis street team.
Yeah.
I am the Megalopolis marketing executive. If Megalopolis has no fans, I am dead.
Yeah. I'm getting that vibe. It's subtle, but I'm getting it.
There is a clip that's going around that is the scene where like the two main characters speak to each other for the first time. And you can truly tell that Adam Driver is daring somebody to call him out on his performance. There are only two people in that film that understand the movie they're in, Adam Driver and Aubrey Plaza.
Great.
They are in one movie.
I love that.
Everybody else is in a totally different movie. Nobody else gets it.
Amazing.
But this scene with it's Adam Driver and Natalie Emanuel, who plays the lead opposite him, and they are having their first little spat.
We can't watch it. They will absolutely hit us for it. We cannot see anything from it.
Are you sure?
100%.
Can we just do his one line?
No.
No.
We're in the first 5 minutes of the show.
I know.
We will get demonetized, and we just got monetized.
It's fair use, baby.
No, it's not. It's not. It's a movie that's still in theaters.
She says, it's a clip that they've released officially. She says, she's trying to get him to to teach him because he's the perfect boy.
I know nothing about this movie. Go on. Don't tell me more.
He's a perfect boy.
I don't want to know.
She wants to be taught by him. And he says, this is his line. So you think 1 year of medical school entitles you to to plumb the depths of my Emersonian mind? And she goes, entitles me? Yes. Entitles me? Yes. Entitles me? Yes.
3?
Yeah. And he gets longer every time. It's amazing. And he tells her, why don't you go back to the club? His head wiggle is second to none.
Look, Kaylee said that she would see it with me not an hour away.
I might be going again this week. A couple people that were supposed to be at movie club last night got the showtime wrong. Like they bought tickets for the right show. They bought tickets for the right show, but then they all discussed amongst each other what time the show was at.
Yeah.
And they were wrong.
Cheap.
And and they were wrong. And so now they're like, wait, I want to see it. And I'm like, listen, if I'm going to be the guy who sees Megalopolis 3 times, I'm willing to be that guy.
You're always willing to be that guy.
I'm willing
Anthony.
to be that guy.
Nobody doubts you're willing to be that guy.
Listen,
I just want you to know you didn't have to tell us you were willing to be that guy.
2 people like Megalopolis, Francis Ford Coppola and me.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. And he co-wrote the movie with his son. I don't think his son likes the movie.
Wow. All right.
Anyway.
I'll see it. Kaylee wants to see it. I want to see it. There's a lot of movies out I want to see right now, and that's tough.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
We're going to go see The Joker so we can review it on the Patreon. The people are speaking. Guys, you have, to back this up, I do need you to leave it in the comments below if you're watching on YouTube later. Like, they already did it in a live Twitch chat. So, like, do your part.
I had already forgotten, because you asked me if we would do this this weekend.
Yes, I did.
And I said, I don't want to do it.
Uh-huh.
And then I tried to rewatch a little bit of the first Joker.
Oh, why?
Because I hadn't seen it since, and I was like,
what a choice.
I've blocked most of it out.
From what I can tell, it doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't.
From what I
hear.
can tell, this second movie has no interest in the first.
No, I mean, well, let's get into it. This is, of course, a movie that Jonkler fans have been champing at the bit for.
Yeah.
For years.
Mm-hmm.
You remember we gave the Jonkler multiple Oscars.
Jesus.
Do you remember
Multiple
Joaquin
Oscars?
Phoenix accepting the Oscar for playing Jonkler?
What a time.
What a time we had.
Now, the first movie had a $55 million budget, which is small for a superhero film, but still a massive budget. And it did like $450 million at the box office.
Yeah.
So it did exceedingly well.
It cost like half a Megalopolis.
Sure. For everyone's scale.
You would have to sell
the universal scale.
You would have to sell half a vineyard to make Jonkler.
Yes.
A whole vineyard to make Megalopolis.
Has anyone seen this movie? Has anyone else seen this movie?
No one has. Megalopolis opened to like $5 million. Megalopolis made no money. It made less than Jonkler.
So, listen. I've got a review thread. I've got a roundup here. I've also got the general Rotten Tomatoes, okay? So on Rotten Tomatoes right now, it's got a 33% tomato meter and a 31% popcorn meter, which is the audience score. Do you accept the cookies? Will you turn off your ad block?
Please.
33% from critics.
Sure.
31% from audience. Those are pretty close.
Yeah, that's rare.
Yeah.
It's particularly rare with a film like Joker 2, where you expect it's going to be low critic score, high audience score, because the Jonkler faithful are going to go Jonkler go to the polls is what they're going to do, and they're going to say, I love that Joker, the same way the ladies did in the original Batman in that commercial. They go, love that Joker. But that's not what happened, Saige. And there are a couple reasons for this. The first is the movie, as we all know, is a musical, but they were trying to hide that fact from the Jonkler faithful in the marketing.
Well, yes and no. And also from what I've heard, it's not that musical. It's much music, but not very musical, if that makes sense. People say that if you hate musicals, you'll hate this. And if you love musicals, you'll hate this.
It's okay. So people, I want to say that people always ask me, they ask me about why, liking movies like Cats and Megalopolis.
Yeah.
And they're like, why do you like Cats and Megalopolis, but you don't like Joker?
Right. Like we loved Madam Web.
Right. Why do you love why do you love these kinds of movies and you don't love Joker? And I tell them the difference between like Megalopolis and Cats and something like Joker is Megalopolis and Cats are the product of a creative team doing exactly what they want because they believe in it so hard that like nobody can tell them that they're wrong. They do it because they love it.
Cats, maybe.
Cats was definitely Tom Hooper.
Maybe
Tom Hooper believed in Cats when he made Cats. You know what I mean? Yeah. Whereas Joker is a guy trying so hard, and I'm not like Todd Phillips is trying so hard to get you to take him seriously and say he's cool. Well, and so like he wants to do a musical because he's like, what if we did a musical? Wouldn't that be wild and edgy? But then he's like, but
also I fucking hate musicals. Fuck you.
Yeah, but also will people make fun of me for musical?
Yeah.
Will people think musical is silly? And it's like, you can't have both, my dude.
No.
You can either be creatively open and vulnerable and do what you want to do.
Yeah.
Or you can go back to making hangover movies.
Well, it would appear that, and this is the reviews that we're getting from a lot of people. Anthony, you can't keep getting up. We're doing a show.
Hey, you know what?
The dog can wait.
I would have been back by the end of the sentence.
And they'd have never noticed. They'd have never noticed.
I've already announced that Chekhov's dog is pacing in the corner. He's an old man.
It would appear that Todd Phillips even hated this movie. It doesn't seem like he wanted to make this movie and then he got it and he said, screw you, I hate the first movie. I love what I made and I hate the way you liked it. It wasn't what I wanted. This wasn't what it was supposed to be. So I am going to make the biggest screw you to everyone who liked it and everyone who hated it. Nobody's going to like this one.
It's so weird. And it's funny because I got about 30 minutes into the original when I tried to rewatch it this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And then it wasn't like I was like, oh, blah, blah, and then I turned it off and I, threw my remote or whatever.
Yeah.
I was just like, I'm kind of bored. I'm going to do something else.
Yeah,
right. Yeah. There were a lot of people who just kept, when they saw Joker, and I was one of them, they were one of the there were people that were like, hey man, this is literally just a ripoff of one very specific Martin Scorsese movie.
Yeah.
Like, in all the marketing, they were like, wow, it's kind of like if Joker was Taxi Driver. And the reason they said that is, when somebody's ripping something off so bad that they say something else was their inspiration.
Yeah.
They go like something close.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, Todd Phillips was making a movie called The King of Comedy. It's a 1980s Martin Scorsese movie.
Yeah.
It is beat for beat the Joker, basically. So he couldn't say that. He couldn't
was it
say
as much like incel bait?
Yeah, they didn't know what incels were, but like
Sure.
all 80s Scorsese was incel bait. Taxi
Yeah.
Driver was incel bait. Like, they had to say Taxi Driver because if they said King of Comedy, people would have gone and watched King of Comedy. And then they would have been like, dude, you just ripped this off.
Right.
And I think when it was time to do Joker 2, and Todd Phillips now has made billions of dollars for Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
Remember, he made Road Trip, he made the Hangover movies. These were big movies, right?
Yeah.
And then he decided, I'm going to make my serious movie. He's like, I made you a few $1 billion in comedies.
Sure.
Let me make Joker.
Yeah.
And so they let him make Joker and it paid off. And so he's like, well, now I get to do whatever I want.
Mhm.
And they said, okay, do whatever you want. And then they walked away. He's like, I literally don't have any ideas. I literally don't know what I want to do.
Yeah.
I already remade my favorite movie.
I don't know anything.
I don't know what to do now.
My favorite take that I've seen on this, the first thing that I saw the day it came out, okay, was a TikTok where a woman said, if you are obsessed with Lady Gaga, if you are an obsessive Lady Gaga fan, you're going to love this film.
Mhm.
If you like Lady Gaga a normal amount, you are going to hate this movie. And it's so funny because she's not saying that the majority of this movie is Lady Gaga. From my understanding, through the entire runtime, there's only about 30 minutes of her in this movie total, which is
Gaga-
very misleading from the promotions. She's been all over them. You think that this is like dual leads of this film.
No, it's barely one ga, let
One
alone
singular.
It's just a g.
Yeah.
She is apparently not in this very much. And here's the soft spoiler because I haven't seen the movie,
Mhm.
but soft spoiler because these are things that I've read and that I've heard. Musical.
And she
musical.
doesn't, and most of the singing is Joaquin Phoenix, not her.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
Musical, you hire Lady Gaga,
Yeah.
who literally came out of nowhere in terms of acting and won an Oscar
Yeah.
and was just
Did
like,
a great musical.
did a great music. It was one song sung over and over in A Star Is Born, and it was so good, and she sang it so well that she got an Oscar for it. And you go, we're going to make musical now. Lady Gaga, come do musical. But by the way, please don't sing the songs because I'm a perfect boy directing this movie, and my perfect boy who is also in this movie
Yeah.
is going to sing all the songs because he's perfect. And they went, this guy who literally, if you were doing an impression of him, it sounds like he's going to sing.
Yeah.
And they said, yeah.
Uh-huh.
And it's apparently just auto-tuned Joaquin Phoenix.
For those exactly my age, it's giving very Ariana Grande and Victoria Justice in Victorious.
Mm-hmm.
They said, you be quiet. You're going to make him look bad.
That's right.
This is about him. This is his show.
Apparently, so Lady Gaga has not done like any press for this movie. Once the premiere was over, she bounced. And she made this album, if you are unaware, she made an album called Harlequin. And Harlequin is all Lady Gaga doing the songs from the movie. And I thought, why didn't they just call it the soundtrack to the Joker? The answer is because she doesn't sing the songs in the movie. She said, I'm gonna make this album right because you didn't let me sing in the movie.
She's just...
What?
I didn't know about the album. I knew there was a single. I didn't know there was a whole album.
It's an album.
God, that's so funny.
And can I tell you what? I went to the movie theater, of course, to see Megalopolis. And most of the stuff in the movie theater, marketing stuff, was not for Joker 2. There were like stickers on the bathroom mirrors and stuff for Harlequin, the album. Her marketing team is paying to put the Harlequin album into movie theaters.
I gotta say, of all of her looks, this one's not my favorite. I'm just gonna say it. She's got the red hair right now. She's going for a thing. This is not my favorite iteration of Gaga.
She refuses to take off the flotation device.
Yeah, it's not my favorite personal iteration of Lady Gaga. And what I think is so funny is the TikTok wasn't even saying that like it's because there's so much Lady Gaga. They're saying the only reason that someone could maybe love this is that they're just so unbelievably feral to see Lady Gaga in a movie that it could redeem for them. Otherwise, there is literally no saving this film. So let's read some of these review roundups here.
Please.
Deadline said, Phillips likely could not have foretold the explosion of the musical form in unexpected ways this season. But with The End, Better Man, Amelia Perez, Piece by Piece, all people love it. Great. People are loving musicals.
Sure.
The genre is igniting with a new era of innovation. Phillips, with today's world premiere at the Venice Film Festival, where the 2019 Joker took place, had his own voice to its evolution. With song, dance, comedy, darkness, animation, drama, violence, and more, this is a musical, if it even is a musical, like no other. That's someone trying to be so nice about it.
Yeah, the Venice Film Festival was 3 months ago. So initial reviews of Joker 2 came out of Venice, and people were hating it.
Yeah.
And it was very surprising, I think, to Warner Brothers because they did win the Golden Lion at Cannes. Like, Joker, people went to the Cannes Film Festival and said, certainly no movie is better here in the year of our Lord 2019 than Joker.
IGN said, despite its best efforts, Joaquin Phoenix, Lady Gaga, and an opening hour set in Arkham Asylum, Joker Folie à Deux wastes its potential as a movie, musical, a courtroom drama, and a sequel that has anything meaningful to say or add to the first Joker. That even sounds like it's being written by someone who liked the first one. So, like, take our opinion with a grain of salt as people who hated the first movie. But it's pretty important that the people who liked the first one would like the second, right? That's usually who you make a sequel for.
The Times literally said, this is the quote from the Times, who gave it a 2 out of 5. The director, Todd Phillips, said there would be no follow-up to the original, but he changed his mind, and the result is a derivative musical.
2 out of 5.
2 out of 5.
The Times said, Todd Phillips, I wish this movie was never born. I wish I could go, if I could go back in time, I would go back to when you had said there would be no follow-up to this movie.
The director, Vulture says, the director subjects the character to so many indignities that he actually stops being pitiable and starts resembling the punchline to a very long, shaggy joke. By the end of Folie à Deux, the joke feels like it's on us. That's the first time I heard that line in a Jonkler review, and I would have thought it would have been everywhere.
Yep. The top critic review on the Rotten Tomatoes is literally just the words, what a waste. That's the whole review from a top critic on there.
Genuinely, I think this is so fascinating because there was such a thing around the original Joker that, you know, there are certain properties that when James Gunn and Peter Safran took over DC, they were told, hey, you're taking over DC, but there are a couple things that have to stick around because they're so important. There are babies, there are money makers, and they're sticking around.
And look at them go.
And if I was if I was James Gunn and Peter Safran right now, I would be like sipping my fizzy water as I am here.
Yeah, they just needed to stay.
And I'd be like, hey guys, so I'm good to make all the decisions now.
Now can I?
Am I good?
Yeah.
All right.
Another favorite review here. This is from Glenn Kenny that says, the best thing I can say about it is that it clearly does not take marketing as it is conventionally understood into consideration.
The amazing thing I've seen is so many people tweeting nice work, David Zaslav, and then posting screenshots of all of the movies that David Zaslav has shit canned since he took over Warner. People were like, oh,
what taste?
They were like, oh, wow, that's good. Good that you spent, because if the Joker cost $60 million, then they matched that in marketing, right? So that's $120 million that Warner spent on the Joker.
Yeah.
Batgirl cost $90 million and they threw it away. And
how interesting.
And audiences in test screenings loved Batgirl. Coyote versus Acme cost, I think they said literally around $40 million.
Yeah.
Like it was not expensive for like a big budget mix of live action and animation. Like the people who did it because they fucking loved it.
Right.
$40 million, threw it away. You want a meta courtroom movie with a musical number? May I present to you Coyote versus Acme?
Yeah.
You have it in a drawer. John Cena built it in a cave out of scraps.
I enjoyed this audience review, which is, I did not like that it was practically a musical.
Practically.
What's so funny is that this person who hates musicals can't even say it was a musical. You
and I said when this marketing first started, we were like, if they genuinely make this a full-on musical starring Lady Gaga, I will go to the theater and I will be excited for Joker 2.
Yeah.
And they looked at that and they looked at the people who were saying that and they went, uh-oh, that's not the core Joker audience.
Oh.
We better pull back.
Yeah.
We can't make this a full musical. The Jonkler boys will hate it. What about the Jonkler boys?
But they had already made the movie at that point. I don't think it was going to be different. I don't think it was going to be more musical.
No, maybe the marketing was going to be a lot more musical. The trailer always felt like it was cutting around something. The trailer always felt like it was almost showing the movie, but not quite.
Oh, yeah.
And not
it was
in a way
really
that
avoiding the movie.
Yeah, not in a way that a trailer should almost show the movie, but not quite. But in a way where it was like, you're just showing me a montage of stuff because you're afraid to show me this movie.
I can't tell you how many of these audience reviews, because the audience reviews are, again, going to be from Joker fans, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like those are going to be the people that jump on Rotten Tomatoes that aren't critics and want to leave a review. Almost all of them just say too much singing and dancing. Amazing.
So you made a movie with too much singing and dancing for the Jonkler boys.
Yeah.
And too little singing and dancing for the musical Lady Gaga crowd.
Yeah.
Here's what's wild. You put Lady Gaga in anything. You put Miss Stephanie Germanotta in any project.
Mm-hmm.
And if you really use her, so many people will just fucking show up.
Yeah.
She is such a huge star.
Yeah.
And it really does feel like they got her in there and they were like, look, we got Lady Gaga. That means we're real artists.
Yeah.
Now, be quiet, Lady Gaga, because we have to be real artists.
Yeah.
Like they brought her in to show that they're so big that she has to play a part in their thing.
I like Lady Gaga a normal amount.
Yeah.
Right? And even I will see a movie for Lady Gaga.
I watched A Star Is Born.
Yeah.
They've made A Star Is Born 83 times.
This is the only version I've watched.
I watched it.
I liked it.
I watched Rocket Raccoon pee his pants.
Yeah.
That's what the movie's about.
I liked her in it a lot.
She was great.
Is it necessarily a good movie? But did I enjoy Lady Gaga in it? Very much.
The two of them were very good in it.
Yeah.
You could tell that they loved working together and they're both very good at their jobs. It's a story that I have seen literally 83 times.
Yeah.
But it was that good. She's that charismatic and she's that talented.
Right.
And what you basically did was you took all of that charisma and talent and shoved it in a corner
Yeah.
and then asked her fans to show up anyway.
They
And of
lost
course-
track of the charisma, uniqueness, nerve, and talent, unfortunately. The movie just didn't have any.
Yeah.
I want to continue with movies.
Okay. Let's continue with movies.
We don't have a ton else.
Yeah.
I want to talk about this really quick. A live action Rugrats movie is in the works. Okay?
Can I be Stu Pickles? Look,
Maybe.
This is me sad making pudding.
Ooh, I see it. Now you got to look like a little nervous, right? Like you're like, oh, you dropped the pudding because he always messes it up. All the parents in the Rugrats are incredibly incompetent, except for Angelica's mom.
Right. Who's
She may be incompetent as a mother.
She's girl bossing too close to the sun.
She
though.
is. Live action is an interesting choice.
Live action is a very interesting choice because when you say live action, I immediately think Baby Geniuses.
Yeah.
I immediately think human babies, and they put the CG mouths on the human babies.
Yeah, because if you remember what Rugrats is, this is a bunch of infants to toddlers going on dangerous, life-threatening endeavors.
Unless, of course, you're watching Rugrats all grown up. In which case, we can't speak to you because you are way younger than we are. Not you, though.
No.
Were you about the right age for
100%.
You were the right age for all
I
grown
was
up?
absolutely the right age for all grown up. I loved it.
You weren't original Rugrats. You were all grown up?
I watched both.
Okay.
It's just
You straddled it.
It coincided with me being, in like middle school.
I don't know nothing about all grown up.
Yeah.
Or Rocket Power, which I believe came out around the same time.
Yes, I was also the right age for Rocket Power. That's correct. Yeah, the first episode of All Grown Up was 2003, Anthony.
Oh, okay.
I was 7.5, probably.
Far too old. Far too old for cartoons.
I loved it. I'm not gonna lie, I rewatched an episode of it recently. Somebody's been posting these like blocks of Nickelodeon, like full days of cartoons and stuff on YouTube.
I get those channels as well.
I love it. They got me. They were like a day of television in 2003. I'm like, maybe this is the last time I understood what it was like to exist in the world without anxiety. Let's go. Great show. Anyways.
So it's babies going on adventures and that's what they do. And the babies talk to other babies.
Yeah.
And they say baby things to each other. And so if you're making a live action movie, I think to myself, oh God, who is wrangling all those babies? What a nightmare.
100%. If you've seen Rugrats Gone Wild, it's babies on the streets with other babies. But no, there won't be any baby wrangling. They're doing CGI babies.
I was going to say, they're just going to let the babies improv.
Yeah. They're really just going to let them freeform it. They say that they're
babies, we're just going to roll and just feel out the energy, babies.
They say that it'll be a combination. They're saying they're doing a live action CGI hybrid with actual babies in CGI. What does that mean?
Oh, it means like when you are flipping through TikTok and you get the TikTok account that does the hippos swimming through the sky. And they look like the hippos are from the PlayStation 3.
Okay.
That's what they mean.
That's what actual babies in CGI means?
Do you remember Bella's daughter at the end of Twilight?
Yes, a lot of people immediately went for the Renesmee.
Yeah. You are going to be getting, it's 4 Renesmees.
Yeah. 4 Renesmees in a trench coat.
That's right.
Which is kind of the plot of like every Rugrats episode.
They did get into trench coats, didn't
All
they?
the time.
They were always on each other's
Constantly.
shoulder in trench coats.
100%.
Because a baby's got to do what a baby's got to do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't understand. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if there's even a current iteration of Rugrats. Is there?
There's a 3D animated Rugrats, I believe, right now. Because, Paramount is like bringing all of those back.
Yeah.
Because they want people to buy the Paramount Plus. So I think they just launched a Rugrats and a new Dora.
Okay. Cool. Does anyone with children have an opinion on the current Rugrats? I'd love to know.
The parents' opinions on children's shows are entirely based around whether it shuts the kid up or does not shut the kid up.
Sure.
Except for Bluey. All
Which
parents
people
love Bluey.
Yeah. Jason Moore, whose credits include Pitch Perfect, Sisters, and Shotgun Wedding, is on board to direct.
I'm here for it. Is this the next Todd Phillips? Is this our next Jonkler boy?
It could be it.
Could this be our Jonkler in knight in shining armor, Jonkler?
Anthony, do you want to know who's writing it?
Oh shit. Is it Mario Puzo?
It's Mikey Day from SNL.
Fuck yes, Mikey Day. Get that Rugrats money, Mikey Day.
You know, he could play the dad.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
if I lose to Mikey Day, that's
Not bad.
fine.
Yeah.
I met Mikey Day because he's a Star Wars fan.
Uh-huh.
Anytime there's a Star Wars sketch on Saturday Night Live, it was written by Mikey Day.
I'm looking up some of these names. Streeter Seidel.
Streeter Seidel. Streeter Seidel was one of the head writers at College Humor before he moved to be co-head writer at SNL.
Okay, so those are the two that are writing it. It's
Yeah.
Mikey Day and Streeter Seidel.
Dude, that's going to be a good movie. Those babies are going to look wild as hell.
You got two SNL guys making a Rugrats movie with CGI babies?
Mikey's got to do what a Mikey's got to do. And a Mikey's got to get that bag.
Sure.
A Mikey's got to get that bag.
They haven't released anything else about this movie yet, only that the script is being written, that it's in progress for Paramount, of course. And that's about it.
Listen,
they say that it will be the original main cast of babies, naturally.
That's impossible. Those babies weren't real.
What?
Those were animated babies.
I don't believe you for a second.
Those babies were drawn.
Then how did they grow up?
All grown up.
Thank you very much.
Which means
It might be okay. It might be. It might be, in fact, good.
I think it's actually, depending on how much money they put into it, because look, it all comes down to whether this is the dancing baby gif
Yeah.
or a swimming hippo or something that looks like a child.
I don't know which one I want.
That's the thing.
I don't know.
There's a version of all three of those that I enjoy.
Yeah.
A movie that does not get enough money and then kind of is self-aware and understands that could be very good in making fun of how bad the babies look.
Yeah.
But you really want it to be Perfect Baby.
How old is Angelica supposed to be? So she's the oldest and she's three.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what actual CGI babies means. I don't understand.
Actual CGI babies. Real farm to table
They said
CGI babies.
grass-fed actual babies in CGI.
I just keep thinking of baby geniuses.
Yeah.
And in all honesty, ain't nothing wrong with baby
Are you in?
geniuses. I'm in.
I'm in.
Baby Geniuses by Mikey Day and Streeter Seidel.
Sure.
Directed by somebody who I'm sure is going to be our next Jonkler.
What was it? Pitch Perfect was good.
The original Pitch Perfect?
That was on there.
Yeah.
They might have just been a writer on it of multiple.
Well, no, because I was thinking, didn't Elizabeth, but she directed like the second Pitch Perfect. She was only an actor in the first Pitch Perfect.
I don't know.
I don't know either. But listen.
Oh, yeah, they were directors. So yeah. Or at least it says their credits are Pitch Perfect. They could have been a PA on Pitch Perfect for all I know. I didn't know this guy.
Sans Sunshine is saying something in the live studio audience that makes a lot of sense to me, and it popped up in my head as well, which is real babies when adults are around, and then when the adults leave, animated babies.
Clever. I like it.
I would love that, because then
I think that works.
They could be stylized into what they looked like in the cartoon almost.
Okay.
So when the adults leave, it's like, oh, now we are seeing the world from the view of a baby.
Yeah. I would prefer them be animated then and go more for the animation
That's
live
what I'm
action
saying,
hybrid than the CGI, which like let you know, hey, the line between what is CGI and the way that we describe what is CGI and what is animation at this point has really blurred over the years because a lot of what people still call animation is actually computer generated and vice versa.
It's mostly blurred because of Jon Favreau's marketing department, if we're honest.
Yeah.
If we're honest, it's the marketing department around any movie that Jon Favreau made for Disney.
I'd rather see it be a Who Framed Roger Rabbit animation in live action than
something. Would you say something like a Coyote versus Acme?
I wouldn't, because it's illegal to say that name now. It's illegal to say it. Zaslav shows up at your house.
I'll say it.
And arrests you personally.
I'll say it. Wait, do we not like Jon Favreau? No, we love Jon Favreau. But the blurring of what's live action and what's animated was specifically a marketing push for The Jungle Book and The Lion King and those sort of movies where it's like, oh, we're doing a live action Lion King. And it's like, well, how is that possible?
Well, that's the blur between live action and CGI. I was talking about between animation and CGI. That's different. But yes, that is the thing that you're like, oh yeah, a live action Lion King. It's not live action.
One of those trees was real.
Same animated.
If we watch it, I can point out to you which of the trees is real.
Okay.
It's about 37 minutes in.
Okay.
But you can clearly see it.
You can clearly see one real tree. Live action.
That's right.
That's some live action right there.
Hey, before we talk about any more news,
okay,
can I talk to you about something? Can I?
You may.
Can I make a sales pitch?
Yeah.
Here's my sales pitch.
Okay.
Everybody, shut up. That's how you get a room on your side first.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Hey, everyone. I'm making a dating game. I'm making a dating video game.
That's not a joke.
It's not a joke. That's a real thing that I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm making a video game. It's a dating game, and I'm making it with Irene Coe, who is the artist from Legend of Korra Turf Wars, the comic book that finally made them kiss and say they're a couple.
Nice.
She also drew on the 2011 Batgirl.
Mm-hmm.
We are making a game called Galaxy Hearts, and it is about mech pilots.
Yeah.
It's about mech pilots who have to be in a poly relationship while fending off an alien invasion.
Can you show us anything from it?
I'll show you a little bit of it. Let me bring it up.
I thought you had it at the start of the pitch.
You'd think so.
I did, considering you decided it was now.
It was now.
Yeah.
It was now, and I thought I had it up.
Okay.
But listen.
All right.
Here's the deal.
Yeah.
Galaxy Hearts is literally a story where you are a cargo pilot who accidentally finds himself in the middle of a big space battle against an alien race that is a hive mind. And you pilot so well and so good, accidentally, that you are asked to join the top squadron in the fleet.
Hell yeah.
The LS Squadron.
Yeah.
And the way the LS Squadron works is all of the pilots have to be in perfect physical, emotional, and intellectual sync with each other in order to fight the alien hive mind.
Yeah.
So you have to juggle relationships with quite a few pilots and some other people around the space station.
I know a few YouTube channels that run like this.
Yeah. It's exactly like that. There's a way to play it in the browser and I can't find it.
Okay.
I'm going to find the art.
For now, where is this? Where can they play it? What's the deal?
It is on an app called Dorian. I don't know if you are familiar with Dorian. I actually was not very familiar with it. I sent it to Saige.
Yeah.
So Dorian is an app like Webtoon or something like that, where it is, a bunch of community content and then some folks that are brought in and given some money to make content on the platform.
Episodes. If you know episodes, it's like episodes.
Yeah, it's episodes or Webtoon entirely for dating games. So yeah, Alex, if you want to show that.
Episodes is also entirely for dating games, but it's one specific style of it, and this is a lot more. There's a lot more options.
Yeah, this is entirely like those 4 games right there. The second one that's on there is made by my friend Jess, who is who runs community over at Dorian. And when I sent the app to Saige and Saige opened the app up, she got that second image immediately.
Well,
and it was like she sent me a text that went, "Anthony, is this an app for furries?" And I said, "Not exclusively."
I pulled up our text messages because the first thing I got was 2 animal people kissing that said, "Heating up the steam."
Yeah. The loading screens are all like the loading screens are all like 2 characters making out, and it says "romancing the villain."
Yeah. So I pulled up our text conversation here because I said, "Hey, is this a furry app?" While it was still downloading, while it was still heating up the steam, if you will. And he said, "Listen, if you want to fuck it, you can fuck it on Dorian."
That's right.
And then I sent the screenshot of that like slasher game. And then you said, yeah. You said it was Slashfic, told me about that game.
Yeah, Slashfic is really good.
Yeah. So I did let him know all of this and then continued to download it. Don't get me wrong. Look, I had episodes installed already. So like, We're just adding to it. You know I love a dating sim. Jelly has been posting the link as well there, which we appreciate very much. So what do you ask? What do you want people to do?
So here's basically what's going on. It's on Dorian. I'm part of a program called Dorian Legends. And for the next week, for this entire week, they are basically just watching how many people download and play the game and how many people like the game. It's basically a pitch version of the game. So it's a kind of a prequel chapter where you are going to meet 4 different characters who will be all romanceable characters as the game goes forward.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to meet a couple pilots. You're going to meet a commanding officer. You're going to meet a sexy space pirate. And you will be able to smooch all of them and uncover all of their weird idiosyncrasies. I call it broken, gifted, neurodivergent children.
Yeah.
Who grow up and have to manage a poly relationship to stop an alien invasion.
Perfect. Chaotic said, it's already out. So essentially a prequel chapter is out.
Yes.
So go and play the prequel chapter and let them know that you love Anthony's freaky little game.
Yeah. So basically, to let people know, because people always have a bunch of questions about this, it's for iOS and Android. Some of the links don't work. I guess some of the direct story links always try to push people to Apple because that's where most of their audience is. Sorry. But you can download it on Android. The best way to support is obviously to play the game and to send it to friends and have them play the opening chapter. You can leave reviews, you can do stuff like that. But also, and do not feel like you are required to do this at all. But Dorian does have a currency called hearts.
Okay.
And you get a free heart every day. You get free hearts for playing some games.
All right.
But at the end of my demo, it does ask if you like the game, and you are able to give hearts to show how much you like the game. You can do that if you want. It helps out. And some of that money does go to me and Irene. So it's not like you're just giving money to Dorian. But don't feel like you have to do that.
Yeah, you do. Hey, at least log in and give all your free hearts.
Yeah, I do.
If you can get free hearts every day, just log in every day real quick and give them all to Anthony.
I'm going to show.
He can say you don't have to feel pressured to, and I can say pressure.
Yeah, pressure.
Do it.
Pressure. I'm going to show you a couple things from the game. First of all, I want to show you. Is this going to open? Yes. This is one of Irene's first sketches for the game.
Ooh.
This is your Lieutenant Commander, Alex Marquez. He is fastidious and perfect. He is the youngest commanding officer in the entire fleet, and he is in charge of the top squadron. He never has a hair out of place. He never makes a wrong move or a wrong choice or says a wrong thing, but you can also tell that he has got the weight of the world on his shoulders.
Perfect.
And it is coming down around him.
Perfect. I love it.
And so that is some of Irene's art.
That's awesome.
We're going to be doing some live streams throughout the week as well on my Twitch channel and on Irene's Twitch channel. Irene's going to be doing a live art stream with me on Thursday where we draw some of the characters.
Nice.
Including, I believe the current fan favorite right now is Darg Hightower, who is half human, half alien, 10 feet tall, and is not allowed to feel emotions because if he does, he will go into a Sarin warlust.
Perfect. So go check it out. The link has been popping up in the chat. We'll put it in the description as well on YouTube. Go give it a download. It's free.
Yeah, please try it out. We have until Friday, so share it with friends.
Woo! All right, let's get back into the news, shall we? Let's do it. Let's talk about some games.
Mm-hmm.
You want to talk about some games?
Sure.
Let's talk about this one that I'm very excited for. Saber Interactive.
Saber is a game studio. I would call them somewhere between AA and AAA.
Yes.
But what they're great at is getting licenses for Saiges.
They are. They really are. They get games that are made just for me. They are working on a AAA Avatar: The Last Airbender RPG. So with Paramount Game Studios, it feels like what they're promising us is the game that we've been begging for forever. Everybody for a very long time has wanted an Avatar RPG. Loved the Avatar games on the Game Boys. There was a DS and I think there was a Game Boy.
The GBA.
There was a GBA.
The GBA one where you flip through the 3 characters.
That was fun.
Mm-hmm.
That was a great game. But I would like a little bit more. I would really personally enjoy an actual proper Avatar RPG for the modern age. And this could be it. I don't want to get my hopes up too high, but I would really like for this to be it. We have reinvigorated this universe. We have so much new stuff coming from it. We know we have not only obviously the live action movie or the live action series going into its second season, but we have so many of the animated movies coming. People are reinvested in this thing. Please do right by this thing. I don't care that it's AAA. I hope that that is a good thing for it when it could be kind of a bad thing for it. I'm team, I feel like this should have landed in the AA category.
Same. I would have liked to have seen this given to a AA studio that really, really, really cares about the IP.
Yeah.
Where it would be like maybe the biggest project they've worked on.
Right.
But not like the AAA bloat of like a Ubisoft game, right? Like, I don't want that. I don't want them to make Avatar boring to me.
Right. So they say that they're working in close collaboration with Avatar Studios on the game, which I think is very important. The original creators of Avatar, of course, head up Avatar Studios under Paramount. And they say that it will put players in the role of an all-new, never-before-seen Avatar and take place thousands of years in the past.
Oh.
I'm surprised to see in the past, but I do think that that's interesting. I think that once you get after The Legend of Korra, you get into an interesting place where you kind of have to face technology to some extent because Legend of Korra sits in that kind of steampunk era of it. So I do think going backwards is not a bad place to start.
No, and you also have, if you go forward, and particularly if you don't go far enough, you run into the problem of canon and continuity, right?
Exactly.
And it's sort of like Star Wars doing High Republic stuff and Old Republic stuff.
Yeah.
Where it's like, hey, this is 1,000 years before it can affect your blorbos.
Yeah.
Your blorbos are fine.
Blorbos are fine. Don't worry about your blorbos.
So I like that.
I like this as well. They say that you can expect to be immersed in a vibrant world, master all four elements, engage in dynamic combat alongside companions, and experience the challenges and decisions that come with being the keeper of the balance of the world. That's all I've ever wanted in my whole life.
Yeah.
It's all I've ever wanted. I want it so bad. I'm so excited about this, but I need to be chill about it because I know Avatar is a personal one for me.
Yeah.
I love this franchise very much, but God, to actually just be able to play properly as the Avatar.
There are very few, like, we're pretty good, the two of us, about adaptation. We're pretty good about like...
But everybody I feel like has their one.
But that's what I'm saying. Yeah, we're pretty good for most things. Like, you can do like... You can adapt just about anything I love and make changes to it. And it's happened.
Yeah.
God knows it's happened. And I watch it and I go, yeah, it's okay. You make changes.
Yeah.
But we each have that one thing where we know we're going to be like very unfair internet fan about it.
And I don't think I'm that bad about Avatar. Like, I think I was pretty fair about the show. I know I was like worse about Beetlejuice, for instance.
You were more even-handed about the Avatar show than I expected because the Avatar show was not great. And I say that as somebody who is not, I mean, I like the Avatar series a lot, but I'm not like you. I wasn't all in a way where it was like, they better get it entirely right.
Yeah.
I watched it and I was like, I mean, good for you.
I don't think it was a bad show. I really don't. I actually think it was a good show. I just think it was just a different show. It's just not the same show as the original in animation, and that was expected. There were changes that I disagreed with, but they, for the most part, weren't changes where I was like, this is wrong. It's just not what I personally wanted.
Yeah, I felt the same way when Netflix did Bebop. I was like, okay, you've got to make some changes to make sure that you can do more than 12 episodes of this thing. I understand.
Yeah.
I don't like it all, but the bits that you got right or that you got stylistically right or thematically right, I can get behind.
Yeah.
You know? But this game, it would be cool if this game got it right.
It would be very cool. We do not have a timeline on this game right now. We have no idea when this is coming, so it's probably years out.
Mm-hmm.
I would think like a trailer a year from now at best, if we're just now getting an announcement.
Ooh, yeah, probably.
Right?
Because like, here's the thing. Saber is not going to be able to... Saber can't do a 6 or 7 year game. That's not their dev cycle.
Yeah. They say it's still in the early days of development.
When they say AAA, I expect I expect it to be a 3 to 4 year dev cycle.
Yeah, I think so. It's a co-fund with Paramount, so I'm curious to see if that helps a little bit of just the injection of money into it as well. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, it's tough because you always think like you can throw money at it and then staff up, but it's like,
There's only so much that can do.
There's only so much that can do when you're
Yeah.
bringing in new employees or staff. You know what I mean? Company growth is also something that has to be managed. So
Yeah.
I would hope that they're working within their means, and I would hope that Paramount is allowing them to work within their means, you know?
There are 2 game pieces of news for me personally.
Mhm.
This other one is just kind of suspicions. But the Until Dawn remake for the PS5 and PC. You have lead into a little speculation. Now, those games aren't out yet, but they have leaked in their entirety.
Yeah.
People got their hands on the entire remake, and you might be thinking, well, it's a remake. What new could be in it? But they did do some extended scenes. They added a little bit to it. They fixed a couple of things that were difficult about the original, which I really appreciate.
Mhm.
And they have some alternate scenes that are coming through, which is really, really cool. But in it, there is a scene, and I don't want to give spoilers for this actual game remake, especially because this is a new part of the game. But I'm just going to say that there is a post-credit scene which adds a new ending, and it seems like a potential sequel.
I mean,
A potential tease for a sequel.
I mean, that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
You've got a movie coming out.
Mhm.
This remaster is obviously to get people who are unfamiliar
Yeah.
into the IP before the movie comes out. And then you hope the movie comes out, does really well.
Yeah.
And then you release a sequel for the movie.
Yeah.
And you hope that it creates a cycle of fandom and money until you can swim in gold like a Scrooge.
And I think it makes perfect sense. So the Until Dawn movie has already wrapped filming. It is completed, which is
Mhm.
exciting. At least it's completed principal photography. So I'm super freaking excited. I think this was like born to also be a movie. And I also think there is a ton of room in the Until Dawn universe for sequels. I think they've done a really great job of playing with the genre that they created and doing the Dark Pictures anthology. But nothing in the Dark Pictures anthology has been as good as Until Dawn for me personally.
Yeah.
I think that they really peaked with that one.
And I do wonder if it's more of a lightning in a
Mhm.
bottle. That was the first time we saw it,
Yeah.
sort of thing. Like I think there's some of that because I do think some of the other dark anthology games have been like really good.
Oh yeah.
Like I could say like as good as far as like gameplay goes or whatever as Until Dawn, but I think like Until Dawn was just the first time I saw it.
Yeah.
So like maybe nothing they do from here on out can make that impression on me again.
I don't know. For me, it's the story. I think the story of Until Dawn is the most compelling of them. They did some really interesting things with the different Dark Pictures, but I don't know. There is something about the like characters and setting of Until Dawn that was so grounded
Yeah.
that the other ones are a little more fantastical in a lot of ways. So like the Dark Pictures anthology has a lot more like, we're in a much more fantastical kind of setting, right? We're going straight into like ghosts and demons and shit. And Until Dawn felt like a slasher movie in such a fun way. And even though there are like mythological and fantastical elements of Until Dawn, it feels like a slasher movie.
Yeah.
Like it feels like a Scream a little bit. It's fun in that way that the other games don't quite. They just aren't, right?
And the studio kind of revisited that with The Quarry, which, is technically not part of the whole series. It's like its own side thing.
Yeah.
But even when we were playing through the first couple hours of The Quarry here on stream, I was like, this is really good, but like I want to play Until Dawn when I play this.
It's just, I think the characters were so compelling in Until Dawn. I think it's a really hard, like it's like a little bit of lightning in a bottle to recapture. But I do think that world is set up for another game. I don't think that it's like something where it ended, there isn't room for it.
Yeah.
So I feel good about that. So here's hoping that to be the case. And it would make perfect sense. And I'm not going to tell you what the spoiler is of the actual like ending scene because a lot of people are going to be wanting to play this game right now. But there's something in there.
For sure.
It makes it seem like it. And like, they're making the movie. They've brought the remaster. It makes sense.
It makes sense.
It's not super surprising.
While we're talking about remasters, let's talk about Silent Hill 2 Remake.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it. Reviews are in, and they are pretty good in all honesty. People are really liking it. I've watched some people go through the first couple hours. Here's what I'll tell you. You want to talk about those few things that we're pretty serious about? Saige and I are pretty serious about Silent Hill 2.
We love it.
Silent Hill 2, I think, is the greatest horror game ever made.
It is.
People were really worried about this remake, mostly because of Bloober Team. who has a pretty bad rap as a developer. And I don't know, everything that I've played from them has been fine.
Yeah.
The Silent Hill 2 remake, when they said it was coming and they said Bloober Team, everybody was like, oh boy. I was like, well, this is either a small studio that's had to make do and is doing the best they can, and this is the thing where they really get to show off.
Yeah.
Or like maybe they're not great, like everybody says. I don't know.
What are some things from Bloober that people disliked?
They didn't like The Medium, which was that Xbox launch game about the woman who lives between two worlds.
Yeah. That looked like it was going to be fun. That's a bummer.
Yeah, it's pretty all right. It's a launch game. You know what I mean? It's a launch game. But they made Observer. They make.
Yeah, they just didn't make anything that's really knocked people out of the park. Layers of Fear 2 is fun.
Yeah. They made the Blair Witch game. They make perfectly good horror games. And I was like, maybe they just need the money, the marketing, the clout to make the sort of thing that they really want to make. Anyway, people were really afraid, but most reviews are positive on this remake. Most reviews are giving it around 8 or 9, Like, it's not a perfect game. Fine.
Okay.
Pretty good for a remake. I will say I watched the first couple hours of the game. And here's what I'll say, Saige. They make some character, performance, and style choices in a way where I think they were trying to correct some things that were seen as potentially problematic, which I always love that impulse. But fundamentally, I don't think some of those changes work with the subtext of the game. So, when you meet Maria in the beginning of Silent Hill 2, spoilers for the 20-year-old game Silent Hill 2, Maria is this woman who looks exactly like your deceased wife who you come to Silent Hill to find, except she's like the horned up version of your wife. And yes, that's an inherently like problematic sort of character, but it's a problematic character on purpose. The whole thing of Silent Hill, like Silent Hill 2, the subtext is James Sunderland has problems with women.
Yeah.
The video game.
Yeah.
Like, there's a reason the sexy nurse came out of, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
There's a reason that like some of these enemies are just like women's bodies without faces, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
James Sunderland has problems with women. Did they, in the first game, really get you to the point where you feel like James Sunderland has realized that and is working through it? Not necessarily.
No.
Because it's also a horror game, and so it's like,
Yeah.
you're not going to have your happy ending, bud. But the way they changed Maria was when you meet her, she's like almost very soft-spoken and kind of like trepidatious the way you are about being in Silent Hill.
Yeah.
And like, she's very, just her whole performance is a little different. And I remember looking at it and going like, I totally understand not wanting to make a character one-dimensional. You do find throughout the original Silent Hill 2, you do see more dimension to Maria as you go.
Right.
I don't know. It's just like, I understand the changes, and I'm wondering if I'm too sensitive to the changes because I like the original Silent Hill.
Yeah.
Because the other thing that I miss is like, I miss the weird VO.
Yeah.
The weird voice acting to me is kind of part of the game.
But it wouldn't feel the same. If you
No.
watch it on modern animation and like modern like game technology, it wouldn't hit like that. It would feel wrong.
Yeah.
So like I get you, you can't have that kind of jank on top of a game that looks like this. So like it would feel fucking wrong. But I get why they have to make it less janky.
Yeah, I guess I was hoping they would lean into the David Lynch quality of the line reads.
Get a little weirder with it, but they can get a new type of weird potentially.
Yeah, something that feels a little more connected to the material, but is also still that standoffishly strange David Lynch. Everything we're saying is a weird juxtaposition. Like, are we even having a conversation, or are we just talking through each other?
Right.
Like, I do like stuff like that, but I understand why they made those changes. The other thing that people were really, really, really angry about was they changed the way James looks. I don't know if you've seen the new James Sunderland.
Actually.
James Sunderland redesign. They made him, so James in the original Silent Hill was very pretty.
Okay.
He was a PS2 lead character, right?
Yeah.
He was a PS2.
They all look exactly the same.
Yeah, they're just like, really square-jawed, like, you know, just good-looking dudes because we also only had so many polygons.
Sure.
If you look at the James in the new one, which is on the left here, he's a bit more angular. His hair is greasier. You know, he's less pretty. It's a less pretty version of James.
That is such a small change.
Yeah.
When you said that they redesigned him, they didn't like how they changed it, I thought this was going to be a different looking man. That's just the same man with a little texture.
It's the same man.
A little hollowing in the cheekbones.
I like that he just looks more human.
He just looks a little more human, a little more detailed. It's modern technology. This is simply a more human looking character than we could do previously.
But you see, this is what we're talking about when we talk about the people who these are their blorbos and you can't change anything, and they were never going to be happy about this. And I'm not saying that's a huge chunk of the fan base, but I am saying there were people where no matter what you did as Bloober Team, you're going to lose.
Okay.
Bloober Team, more like Loseber Team. You know what I mean? More like Loseber. But people got so mad about this, Saige.
Okay.
That they torpedoed the Silent Hill 2 Remake's Wikipedia page.
What do you mean?
They made a bunch of salty edits.
Get out of here.
To Silent Hill 2 Remake's Wikipedia page, where they said like, where they got rid of, they changed all of the review scores. They said it was reviewed poorly.
Even though it wasn't.
Even though it wasn't.
I beg of you to get a hobby that isn't this.
They said that it was like, it was getting like 1s and 2s and things like that. And that reviewers hated the redesign and like all this stuff. It was very, very strange.
That's such a weird way to do it. Like, it's just a matter of like, I'm trying to rewrite reality to agree with me.
Yes.
I want people to be misinformed on this because I don't agree. I want them to live in my reality where this game is bad to me. Like, that's so weird. And that's not being a fan of something. Like, the people who did this are not Silent Hill fans. You are not a fan of the original game. You are not a fan of Silent Hill 2. You are not a part of that community. You're a fucking weirdo. Like, that's it.
Yeah.
You're a weirdo that needs a hobby and therapy.
If you need to role play the reality you wish was happening.
And you wish that the game was getting 1s and 2s?
That's your biggest wish for reality.
I beg of you to put that kind of mental energy into anything good.
Literally anything.
Like, literally get a job.
One edit said
get a job.
One edit said the game has received the worst reviews imaginable. Unsubstantiated claims, including one that said Eurogamer gave it 0 out of 5 stars. People were giving it zeros on scores that don't have zeros.
Sure, of course they were.
Of course, when this happened, the page immediately went into a semi-protected lockdown state.
Yeah.
Wikipedia's, of course, Wikipedia has a very strange editing security and culture. And it all has to do with like, how many people go to the page every day? How looked at is this page? How many people try to edit this page regularly? You need like certain levels of access for editing.
Yeah.
And then there are like top page editors who can like undo those edits. So the Silent Hill 2 remake page got frozen and got fixed because that's something that people had to do with their day.
That's so weird. That's just such a weird thing. Like, there's so many ways that people show their dislike for things, and this is a particularly odd one to me. Like, this is just like I don't know, we're at a very specific time where people feel in control of information in a very weird way, where they think that they are entitled to controlling the narrative on something and people agreeing with them because disinformation is something that people have learned they can just do.
Yeah.
And that's super, super weird.
The hope, I would imagine that the hope would be people are interested in the Silent Hill 2 remake. People look it up. They go to the Wikipedia page, they see it's poorly reviewed and they don't buy it. That's such like a convoluted plan.
It's such a weird plan.
It's such a
And also,
I know that when I'm looking for the up-to-date reviews on video games that I want to purchase, I go right to Wikipedia.
But you know what I mean? Like,
this game just came out today. Quick, to Wikipedia.
Right.
I need the most up-to-date gaming news.
I need to know if I should play this game.
Where do I go? Oh, well, I go to wikipedia.com.
Of course.
The same place that I go to look up the Prussian War.
Yeah. I'm confused because you want people to not buy this game.
Right.
And this isn't from a place of, I don't want you to waste your money, right? Like, I feel like I wasted my money. I don't want you to waste your money. Game refunds are a thing if you don't like the game.
Mm-hmm.
You could just get your money back. You could leave a bad review. You can leave a bad review on a million different sites that allow fan reviews. Yeah. You can post your own things. You can go onto social media and you can post it from you.
And they do that too, sometimes 100 times each.
Right.
Under different names.
What they need instead is they need to go the step further and they need to say, no, everyone disliked it.
Yeah.
No, all of these other people disliked it. And what does people not buying this game do for you?
It vindicates
if it accomplished it.
Yeah, it vindicates their rage at the game at James Sunderland's chin being too pointy.
At his skin having texture of a modern generation video game.
It too pointy. And Maria, not sexy enough. So everyone be mad.
As for the Maria of it all, it is a tough thing.
It's
and
a complicated
I was thinking about
issue.
it because like I love Silent Hill 2. I definitely do have the experience of Silent Hill 2 where a lot of the time you go like, all right, you know? And that's just the experience of it. And there is a level of, we do want to be able to tell stories where somebody is in the wrong and is doing something wrong. We are in a time of low media literacy where we have to be mindful of the things we're putting out for people, which sucks, right? So there's like, I see both sides of the argument of that of like, we have to be able to tell stories of shitty people. And also, I do see how people are taking these and not understanding them. So I understand proceeding with that. I also understand being like, hey, we actually would like women to feel more comfortable playing this game.
Yeah.
Because like, I know I feel more comfortable playing a game when all of the female characters in it aren't weird objects, even if your thing is like, see, this guy sees women as objects. It doesn't mean I'm having a good time.
Right. And that's that's the big thing is, okay, you want to make a game where this guy sees women as objects. He's afraid and scared and angry emotionally. And so these women show up as like sexual monsters. Okay, that's the reason for it. But are you coming up with the reason to fit the sexy women designs, the sexy women monster designs you already made?
Right.
Or is this a core part of the story that you then create the world around?
Ding.
And there's an unbalance in Silent Hill 2, as I think there is in a lot of horror and genre fiction, where it's like, no, you don't understand. We're doing a metaphor about women. And it's like, no, I understand the metaphor.
I understand the metaphor.
You don't need to, but it seems like your metaphor is going a little bit into fetish.
It's very often that people use that as an excuse to play out a weird male fantasy. Right? Of like, I know I'm doing it. I know it's wrong and he's a bad guy for it, but we all get to live in it for a little bit, right? Like we all get to play this because in a video game, you are the person, you are living in it. It is a very different experience even than watching a movie. It's much more immersive in that, but it's like we all get to kind of live in that where it's okay to be this kind of bad person for a little bit.
Even in Silent Hill 2, they put in the guy who is the frat guy who is worse than James.
Right.
Just so you feel better about being James.
Right.
Because that guy is worse.
Exactly.
And you're like...
So I think it is worth updating in that maybe we stop giving men these excuses to play out these fantasies from a point of false self-awareness.
Yes.
Maybe we stop letting people have the pass of like, but I know I'm doing it, being an excuse to do it.
A jonkler situation.
A jonkler situation,
A bit of a jonkler.
A bit of a jonkler, if you will.
Meanwhile, the real reviews for Silent Hill 2 Remake, as I've been saying, have been very good. Eurogamer, who according to this Wikipedia article, gave it a 0 out of 5, actually are one of the few outlets that gave it a perfect score. Vicky Blake over at Eurogamer said, against the odds, Bloober Team has delivered a remake that both expands Silent Hill 2 in just the right places and gives careful attention to what it preserves. It honestly looks really good. One of the fun little things that I saw, this is not a spoiler, it's just kind of like a little Easter egg. The Silent Hill Ranch, the sign that famously is Comic Sans.
Yeah. Incredible.
When James is entering Silent Hill, there's the Silent Hill Ranch, and it's a big wooden sign that just says Silent Hill Ranch in all caps, Comic Sans.
Yeah.
They remade that sign, obviously, and it's not Comic Sans. It looks like a real ranch. But that
would be my complaint. That's what I'd update the Wikipedia. I'd be like, it got great reviews, except everyone hates that the sign wasn't in Comic Sans anymore.
Why was sign not Comic Sans? Now, see, I'm the sort of person that really would go, I understand why they had to update that, but it was funny.
I wish it was Comic Sans.
If you walk around the ranch, the old sign is like by a dumpster.
There we go. Honestly,
they just got a new sign. Like they could just afford it.
that communicates a lot to me. The Bloober team and the people working on this said, we know this game. We like this game.
Mhm.
We care about this game. I know we're updating things, but like we know that's important. We
Yes.
care about it too, and it's here. I think that's neat.
I think it's
that's
really
great.
cool. Yeah, everybody's been giving it, it's getting 85s, 87. GameSpot gave it 9 out of 10. Remaking one of the most revered horror games ever is no simple task, but Bloober Team impressively rebottles the magic of the 2001 genre landmark.
Hell yeah.
2001.
Yeah.
That's older than All Grown Up.
Yeah.
You played Silent Hill 2 when you were 5.
You know me. I was just playing Silent Hill 2 when I was 5. Played it on launch day.
That's right. She was at the midnight launch.
Yeah.
She was at the midnight launch dressed as a baby pyramid head. That would have been so adorable.
That would be so
Little baby
cute.
pyramid head.
That would be so
Oh my
good.
God, if somebody has a kid,
You know there are
for
baby
Halloween,
pyramid head costumes.
I need you to dress your kid like Pyramid Head and send me a photo. I want to see baby Pyramid Head.
Yeah, you know kids are doing it. You know guys, you know people. You know
I know people.
parents.
Oh, I know people.
You know horror-loving parents got baby pyramid heads.
Tristan Ogilvie, IGN 8 out of 10. Silent Hill 2 is a great way to visit or revisit one of the most dread-inducing destinations in the history of survival horror. One of the things that I found that's really fun in the options. So obviously, Silent Hill 2 is from that PS2 era where it was just like, that's baby Pyramid Head. Oh.
Got the big sword thing.
Oh.
That's good.
You're going to drag your little sword. Oh, another baby Pyramid Head.
Okay, those are great. That's good. That's really good.
Oh my God.
Excellent.
I totally forgot. Oh, I remember what I'm saying now. Sorry, baby
The
Pyramid
options,
Head.
PS2.
Yes. It has that PS2 thing where it was like, we're putting a lot of fake grit and grime on the screen.
Yeah.
There's a vignette filter
Love
on the
it.
corners. And that stuff is not in the remake unless you go into the options mode and you turn on something called 90s cinema.
Hell yeah. That's awesome.
I really feel so apparently like all the original content is there.
Mhm.
They have remixed some of the map layouts so
Okay.
you don't just like,
It's a horror game. To get
Yeah.
value in replaying it, you can't autopilot through
yeah,
it.
you don't just autopilot and you go, yeah, this is Silent Hill 2, man.
Yeah.
I remember that.
And there are also things that were like, hey, we've learned a lot about video games. Some things might be better to navigate in
So-
a different way.
Yeah, exactly. And the original puzzles are there, but they have also apparently added new stuff. So Bloober Team did not take any original game away.
Hell yeah.
They did add some new puzzles. I guess if people are critics of Bloober Team or want to know what their fingerprint is, be on the lookout for those puzzles and see if they match. Listen, Silent Hill puzzles, can I be honest with you? Silent Hill puzzles are not like, this is not Mensa quality garbage bullshit.
No.
This is old school adventure. Do you remember in the original Silent Hill, the puzzle with the ball and the gutter to get the key? Where you have to shove a ball into a gutter
Yeah, you do.
to change the water level in a grate to get the key. And it's like,
The logic was flawless.
this is Garbo.
Yeah.
This is a Garbo puzzle.
So funny.
Let me just fight a roach on the ground again.
Yeah.
I don't hold any old school puzzles in high regard, really.
No, we've gotten a lot better at puzzles.
Yeah. Like I'm on my channel this month, I'm doing I'm going through important horror games.
Okay.
I'm not playing them all the way through, just
Yeah.
one night,
Good.
one game. And I can't wait until we get to Resident Evil.
That's why you wanted me back on the Steam family.
Partially.
I've got a really good horror library.
Partially. Although you have a lot of you have a lot of all horror, but you have a lot of newer horror that I'm probably not going to touch.
Yeah, I've got a good amount of classic horror on there.
But I think for Resident Evil, I'm very excited. I'm going to play the GameCube version and I'm going to be like, hey, why would you put a metal into a compass and then turn a lion
Yeah.
to push a to push a crest
Resident Evil
into
puzzles
a banner
are for the most part awful. And I feel very comfortable saying that.
They're so
fucking
bad.
terrible. They're the most inconvenient, annoying puzzles. It's not like, oh God, this is too hard. It's just like, there's no way you would make this ridiculous, right? There's no way it's this because that's so inconvenient and silly. It's not satisfying. It's frustrating. It's why would this be in the room that I can't get back into? And I didn't know it was here yet because this was in a room I couldn't get into yet. And now I have to go all the way around the building.
Resident Evil
awful.
is the kind of, all Resident Evil games are the kind of classic games where once an hour you think to yourself, well, I'm soft locked.
Yeah.
I did something and I soft locked myself. Clearly I've done something that the game has never seen before.
And somehow I am the first person to ever make this exact pattern of choices and now I will not be able to do it.
Yeah. Just me.
Yeah.
Hey, should I write to Capcom support because I soft locked myself? Right. And it's like, no.
I got the Skyrim glitch where you go to the tower and the dragon never comes.
That's right. And it turns out all you had to do was put the pizza slicer into the dog's mouth, turn the dog upside down, and then place the dog inside the grand piano and play Oh, What a Beautiful Morning.
Right. But the sheet music for Oh, What a Beautiful Morning, 20 miles back.
That's right. That's right.
And you weren't able to pick it up when you were there. Now you can.
Because it didn't look like that. It looked like a map and you had to put lemon juice on it and then hold it over the oven.
Exactly.
Yeah, Resident Evil puzzles are trash.
What Resident Evil are you playing?
Gonna play the original one for sure.
Okay.
But I'm gonna play the GameCube version because I think that's the best version.
All right, I haven't played it.
Ooh.
I've never played the original. I've played 4, 7.
You played the 2 remake, right?
8. Oh yeah, I did. I gave up on the 2 remake though.
Yeah.
I've played 2, 4,
6,
7, and 8.
2, 4, 7, 8. Who do we appreciate? Capcom. You should come play the GameCube version. I think it's the best version.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You know me, I'm a Resident Evil 7 girl. I think it's a fantastic game. I think it is still by far the best Resident Evil game.
My favorites are definitely 4 and 7.
I think 7 is the only actual horror game in the series.
Every time I did play 8 and I did play the DLC. And every time I play 8, I'm just giggling to myself. I'm like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I'm like, what a
fun.
ridiculous.
I like it. It's good, like campy, fun action horror.
Yeah.
But like 7 is terrifying.
My favorite thing about 8 is how it literally starts with God. Like it literally starts with Ethan going, well, gosh, thank goodness Chris gave me all that secret agent training. And I'm just like, what are we doing?
Great.
You're just telling me the Fingy Man is a secret agent now.
Yeah.
Everything's fine. Put some fingy juice on the fingies.
You're fine.
And then you play as his daughter, and she has fingy juice for her fingies. Of
course.
But she also has a psychic abilities.
Yes.
It's everything that was great about 7, but silly as fuck.
Yeah. Which, one of the things about 7 was that it is silly, but terrifying. Like every once in a while you'll laugh and then you'll be like, ooh, I'm in danger.
Yeah.
We only have a little bit of time left. We got to get to this Halo news.
Yeah, let's talk about the Halo news.
Tell me about it.
Halo news is that 343 Studios, who you know as doing the Halos, who you probably know as everybody's least favorite Halo studio.
Yeah.
There have only been 2, but somehow people have a least favorite.
Yeah.
Somehow people are just like, fuck these guys.
Yeah.
They have rebranded themselves. They're no longer 343 Studios, Saige. They're Halo Studios. That means they're never getting out of the Halo mines.
I'm also just like, that's the most like, fuck you, we make Halo, just us now.
I mean, look.
I don't want any of this back and forth no more. Halo's us.
Halo's us, it is we. We do Halo. Yeah, I think
Feels weird.
It's Microsoft doubling down. Obviously, the Halo Infinite did not do super well. I mean, it did fine, but it's like, it did fine in the way where it's like, oh, this is making a normal amount of money. And unfortunately, we needed it to make a metric fuck ton of money.
Yeah, we needed it to make an unfathomable amount of money.
Yeah, we needed it to make an unreasonable amount of money.
Yeah.
And it just did not. It's gotten better and better over time, as far as people have been telling me. The Halo fans have been telling me they've been adding stuff, they've been fixing stuff.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they're just doing it very slowly over time.
Right.
Which means they launched it way too early, just because they felt like they needed it. Basically, they are now, Sunday was the Halo World Championship tournament. Did you call your mother?
I did. Yes,
Good. Yeah.
absolutely.
Always
Yeah.
because
She's
remember,
competing.
it's her day too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So during the Halo World Championships, they gave a 6-minute little video presentation that was called A New Dawn, Halo Studios. Now, as you know, because we all know this, Halo has previously been built off of 343's Slip Space engine. Halo, like 343 rolls their own tech to make Halo.
Right.
And a lot of people were saying, Jesus, that's so much work.
Yeah.
That's so much work when you're doing a live service game.
Yeah.
And not just that, it makes it tougher to iterate because you have an old code base. Things need to be constantly updated. A lot of your people are dedicated to maintaining old code rather than writing new code. A bunch of stuff like that.
Yeah.
So one of the biggest things that they announced is that Halo is moving to Unreal Engine 5, and they showed some Halo in Unreal Engine 5.
Looks beautiful.
They showed Johnny Spartan in Unreal Engine 5, and it looks great. It looks great. And I think this is going to take probably a lot of pressure and stress off of 343.
Yeah, I hope so.
They're going to be working with known tools that get constant updates. You know, Unreal is updated consistently by the people at Epic Games. That's what they do.
Yeah.
And then you can edit the Unreal code however you like.
Yeah.
So this is going to allow them to start with a code base that is used for multiplayer games. There's Johnny Spartan in Unreal 5, baby.
Looks great.
You can really see that 5.
So much shine and reflection.
My God. Look at his Halo sword.
Many shadow.
You know, and then it's basically about, tweaking that engine to make it feel not like an out-of-the-box Unreal game. You don't want Master Chief running around feeling like a Fortnite.
Right.
You want it to have that Halo feel where you got like that little floaty jump.
But that's a lot less work than building your entire own system.
It really is. And I think it's one of those deals where, large studios and large companies, they don't really want to, for their real pearl, for their real big stuff, like Capcom, we were just talking about, has the RE engine.
Right.
Right. And they make everything in the RE engine.
Yes.
And one of the reasons they do that is because, like, currently with the state of games, game studios are giving little slices of profit to everybody along the way, right? If you are a studio that isn't also part of a publisher in-house, you're giving a little slice of money to your publisher. You're giving a little slice of money to marketing. You're giving a little slice of money to every platform that you listed on, right?
Right.
You want to sell on Steam, they get a percentage. You want to sell on, Epic, they get a percentage. So also paying per copy sold game for use of the engine is a cost that, like, studios don't want to take on.
Sure.
And particularly when you have a studio that has a lot of legacy talent, like 343, who's been around for years, although a lot of them have been leaving, you know what I mean? They've been working with the Slipstream engine for like a decade.
Yeah.
So for them to change can be like a big cost as well.
For sure.
And so,
but you have to at some point weigh out the long-term cost of maintaining this engine for just this game.
Right.
Right? Because it's like, it's the same thing of people being like, well, I want to host on my own website and stop giving all of my ad money to YouTube, right? Like, I want to stop giving all of these cuts of my merch store to this different platform. But it's like, okay, well, then you're taking on all of the maintenance fees.
Who's going to print the t-shirts?
And the hosting. And
who's gonna put the t-shirts in plastic bags? Who's going to mail the t-shirts? Who's going to you have to pay for credit card processing. You have to pay, there's all this stuff to running a business.
So they must have done the math, and that would come out to the same amount or less to put it on Unreal.
Well, and certainly after they lost so much money on Halo Infinite.
Yeah.
When they had such a weak launch, they were like, we could have given so much money to Unreal.
And the difference is, too, where it's like, okay, it's the same thing again. We'll use the merch analogy, where it's like, you can pay less per blank shirt if you order a big fucking box of shirts. And then you sell them and you make more money. Great, if you sell them.
Right.
So that's kind of them of being like, well, we're putting a ton of money up front into hiring people that know this, in addition to the legacy talent, training them on this system, maintaining this system. so that we don't, when we sell, give money to Unreal.
Right.
However, then they can have a lower upfront cost, and only if they sell a lot, give a lot to Unreal.
Or if
so if the game underperforms, it costs less.
Or if you're like Capcom and you're sharing that technology amongst 3 or 4 different teams, right? Teams who are making games that you wouldn't expect to be in the RE engine,
Yeah.
Whereas like 343 is just making Halo.
Yes.
They have like this.
Well, they're Halo Studios.
They're Halo Studios now, but they have, they have one hero product that they're making. And if the tech isn't serving that, what does it, what does it do for them? They said, right here we have the head of Halo Studios, Pierre Hintz, said, "We believe that the consumption habits of gamers have changed. The expectations of how fast their content is available. On Halo Infinite, we were developing a tech stack that was supposed to set us up for the future and games at the same time." And then the studio art director said, "But respectfully, some of the components of Slipspace are 25 years old."
Yeah.
They go back to like Halo 3, right? Isn't that when 343 took over? Or Halo 4?
I don't know.
But they took over 25 years. Although 343 were developing it continuously, there are aspects of Unreal that Epic has been developing for some time which are unavailable to us and would have taken huge amounts of time and resources to try and replicate. I think one of the things, when your art director is talking about this, building environments in Unreal, especially in Unreal 5, is way easier than in any other game engine has ever been.
Yeah.
And so if you just want to prototype something quick and beautiful and functional, Unreal's got that in the bag, and I don't know what the Slipspace engine looks like, obviously, but when your art team is going, we can't use this.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
I'm curious to see what this means and if they can tweak it to still feel like a Halo. I believe that they can. If they give them the time to, great. I'm curious to see what this means of being like, we're Halo Studios now, to see how much Halo that means they're making. They did say they've got multiple games in development in the Halo franchise.
Yep.
I don't want too much Halo. Please don't give me too much. Multiple sounds like a lot. I would love it if you made one at a time.
You could give me a new Halo Wars.
Yeah.
You know that little top-down one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got into that a little bit.
Halo Wars?
I mean, as much as I like any other top-down thing, but I'll play with it.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm more likely to play a Halo Wars than a new Halo.
If they're developing multiple, they also needed to be able to expand who they could hire.
Yeah. So one of the things that people have been asking about is like, what does this mean for like literally everything?
Yeah.
And one of the big ones was user generated content. And they said, hey, one of the first things we're doing is Foundry. We want to make sure that that we're bringing the Foundry over pretty much first.
Yeah.
So you can still do all your UGC and all the stuff that you expect out of Halo. We know that that's an important part.
Yeah.
And giving people those tools. I mean, I have a feeling that some of those Foundry tools are used internally by their art teams anyway and their design teams. So it'll be nice for them to have that stuff.
Yeah.
So there you go, Halo fans. They also said that they're going to make another Halo show and he's going to kiss even more this time.
Yeah.
And he's going to look even weirder doing it.
Naked all the time.
He's always naked, always kissing, always looking afraid of kissing.
Full cheek.
John Halo.
Woo! That's it for our show, everybody. Thank you so much for spending your morning with us. We appreciate it so much. We do the show live on Twitch every Monday and Friday morning at 9 a.m. Pacific if you want to tune in live, if you're not watching live. It's also available on YouTube, the Pixel Pop channel. Go and subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell to get notified when we post a new video. We don't post that much. It's a reasonable amount of notifications,
It's a reasonable amount.
It's a reasonable amount, okay?
Calm down.
Join the Discord. You can suggest stories over there. You can also listen to this in podcast form if you want to put It's Too Early on in your commute. We try to describe the things we're looking at to the best of our ability.
Yeah.
We try.
We're more of like, I like to think of us as an old time radio drama mystery.
Yeah.
You know?
That's exactly how I would describe our podcast.
Whoa, that chandelier just fell. Crash.
See, it's kind of like that. There's a lot of ways that you can watch the show. We just appreciate you doing so. The number one thing that you can do to support this show is just show up and watch it. It really helps us out. And we're very, very grateful that you spend your time here with us. But hey, you can also give us money.
You could give us money.
You could always give our independent network money if you wanted to.
Look, you could go to patreon.com/Pixel Circus and you could be like, hey, I'm going to slip you a $5. And for that $5, I'm going to get bonus videos like weekly at least, and sometimes multiple times a week.
It's true. We didn't have a show on Friday, but Alex and I still did Patreon video. We gave you a little State of the Circus update where we just hung out and chatted and talked about what's been going on here lately. So We didn't leave you hanging. There's content over there if you haven't seen it yet. You get early access to stuff. You get secrets. You get behind the scenes. You get bonus content.
That's right.
There's more coming soon.
That's right. Join that Discord if you haven't yet. It's free real estate. Hang out and chat with us. And if you are watching this on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe and give a thumbs up to this video. You know that we are trying to creep up on those numbers and get that good YouTube money. So help us out.
Appreciate it. Anthony, where else can they find you on the internet?
You can find me everywhere at Carboni. This afternoon, you can find me on right here on Twitch at Anthony Carboni to show off more Galaxy Hearts. And of course, you can play the Galaxy Hearts demo chapter right now. I put the link in the chat, and I'll put it in the Discord as well.
Awesome. You can find me everywhere on the internet at Not Saige, and you can find me on both Pixel Circus channels all the time. How about Alex?
Hello, you can find me on Twitter at Alder_Mancy, on Instagram at Alex Teplitz, and the first episode of Unprepared Casters, The Aurora Protocol, is now out everywhere you get your podcasts. And
Woo!
I'm on it. Woo!
Everybody, we love you so much. Thank you for spending your morning with us once again, and we will see you on Friday.
Bye, BBs.